Hello, sports fans and friendly people. I am the sports judge coming to you live from a local park nearby in my neighborhood. Right behind me is my middle school where I attended in the late 90s, early 2000s, Carmenita Middle School. Oh man, the good old days. Thanks for hanging out with me and keeping up with the content. Russell Wilson was able to meet with the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, spent about 6 hours there on Friday. Mike Tomlin, as we know, had been adamant about the fact that they wanted to bring in someone to compete with Kenny Pickett this season, and now Kenny Pickett has competition. Do we have a quarterback controversy? Well, that remains to be seen. I think Russell Wilson will get the starting job. So now he finds a new home. He has a new team, and I think going to Pittsburgh, where he can get back on the right foot with a nice core around him, a coaching staff around him, reload for a better season. This is not to say the Steelers have a legit stud in Russell Wilson, because you're not getting the Seattle version of Wilson. But they have somebody, at least in the short term, who is good enough, I think, to carry them, and I can make and I think he can make, the most out of it, and can also make the most of guys like George Pickens with a good OC in Arthur Smith. And considering everything else he has working for him, I like this for both Russell and the Steelers. And I know, as evidenced by his mediocre stats and the Broncos' horrid 8-9 record last season, Russell posted career low numbers nearly across the board. It was bad, shockingly so. The worst year of his career, that he made himself an easy target. I think this is a steal for the Steelers. Did he play up to his standards last season? No, not at all. But I think Arthur Smith will get Russell back to what he does best. And so, with that, I say, when you get a veteran, experienced quarterback like Russell, he can elevate your productivity to a whole new level with the right personnel and playmakers around him. Put last season behind him. Forget about last season. What he did last season, that's history now. It's done and over with. New team, new city, different uniform. And only time will tell. But I think Russell Wilson, the reality is he's walking into a much better situation, no matter how we spin it. I think the Steelers' offense is better than Denver's. What held the offense back was scoring production, and of course Matt Canada was the scapegoat. It was a lack of red zone production, the inability to produce more than one touchdown. It was a cliche, boring, and stale offense that struggled to score points. I gotta be honest, if Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith can get them to a competent NFL offense, then I'll go as far to say the Steelers would win a playoff game. It would be somewhat amusing to see Smith, considering his history, take an average quarterback like Wilson and unlock what's left of him. And based on situational stats, Russell Wilson as quarterback is best suited for the Steelers offense. It's the best bet to make a meaningful short-term impact at the quarterback position. With the numbers that Russell has, the Steelers should play much better next season. This is a Pittsburgh team, as bad as it was, that managed to still make the playoffs with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. They were 10-7 last season with the 28th ranked offense. Now you add Russell Wilson, a move to bolster the offense. For me, I see it this way. You're getting a guy who is a drastic improvement over Kenny Pickett. And he's not coming in to compete with Kenny. He's coming in looking to be a starter, QB1. If you don't think Wilson is a guy who can elevate this offense, then I can't help you. I really can't. This is a Steelers offense that ranked damn near last in every category. The Russell Wilson rumors were certainly heating up even before the Broncos released him. And all this time, I thought it would be a great fit for him and where he would end up. Sure enough, he's a Steeler, like I predicted, like I said all along. I like this fit for Russell. Pittsburgh provides a strong defense, smart head coach, and good run game to accommodate Russell Wilson's game. I think the Steelers benefit here as well. Russell is on a cheap contract. The Denver Broncos, as we know, are paying $37.8 million of his salary, while the Steelers only have to pay him the veteran minimum. So there's no risk. You're getting him for less than most backup quarterbacks. The quarterback situation in Pittsburgh is so weird that Russell Wilson is a significant upgrade, no matter how you look at it. Arthur Smith's system is all about simplicity, keeping things simple. It is comprised of a lot of play action and the run game. They needed a solution at quarterback, and I think they found it with Russell Wilson. I believe he's better than he showed the last 2 years, and especially when he's part of a team that has a lot of everything. As a starter, he is probably capable of getting 8 or 10 wins. The 8 or 10 wins the franchise covets. One thing working against him is the division he's in, the AFC North. It's a tough division. But I think he'll settle in, get acclimated to his new team, learn an entire new playbook, play with completely new players, and adjust to a new coaching staff. So now the Steelers get a 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback and a former Super Bowl champion. He needs an absolute reset, and I still believe in him. And I think, he gets his opportunity again with the Steelers. You have another chance to have a bounce-back year. If he doesn't work, you're looking elsewhere to see what you can do about the quarterback situation. But I think he'll do just fine in Pittsburgh. They needed a quarterback that's not going to drag them down the way, quarterbacks have post Ben Roethlisberger. No one is talking about Russell Wilson being this comeback player, but I have faith in him. That doesn't mean he goes to Pittsburgh and has a repeat of last season. I think it's a needle mover in that you now expect him to not necessarily be great, but good enough to help this team reach the playoffs. Not just because you went out and got Russell Wilson, but the Steelers were in quarterback purgatory, couldn't really find any stability at the most important position. This moves the needle. We have to see what he can do. But when you look at the fact that their offensive coordinator, who led Ryan Tannehill to career best numbers when he was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee, you almost feel that he necessarily fits that system. That Russell Wilson is in the right place. They wanted a guy that can still throw it, make plays, and do just enough for the offense. They want a quarterback who's proven, despite his recent struggles. I think offensively, we know Russell is not going to look as bad as he did last season. I'm giving him one more season. I'm giving him one more year to figure it out. Now, if he plays terrible like last season with the Steelers, then I will gladly say it's time to consider retirement, giving up the game of football. Until further notice, I think this is a good spot for him to resurrect his career and silence a lot of his doubters next season. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate the love and support as always. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys do that for me. Thank you guys. We'll talk very soon. Take care, everyone.